Hello, in this video we are going to be covering the basics of chapter 10, marketing to travel agents. So let me just pull up the slides here. Just a second. Okay, um, so our competencies here, our objectives for this chapter are to describe travel agencies and the kind of travelers they serve, to explain how travel agents get information about properties and book reservations, and explain how hospitality firms serve travel agents and their clients, and then finally describe ways in which hospitality salespeople find and reach travel agencies and agents, and summarize issues facing travel agents in the future. So keep in mind here when we're thinking about this section, marketing to travel agents, we're really seeing travel agents as a segment here. And we've gone through the evaluation, we've determined it's a viable segment, and perhaps even decided this is a target market for us as travel agents. Of course, we can narrow down travel agents even further, but for purposes now, we're going to talk about travel agents as a whole. So a little background, travel agent business used to be booming. In fact, there were some 400,000 travel agents in the US not that many years ago. In recent decades, we've seen a dramatic decline in the number of travel agents. And you can guess one of the reasons for that, which is certainly online consumer travel sites. I know I do most of my travel booking now online, as do many others. And the second piece, which you may not be aware of, is that airlines not too long ago decided that they didn't need travel agents. So they started eliminating commissions that they were giving to travel agents. That being said, it's still a fairly sizable source of referrals. So travel agents book more than 50% of business at resorts and sell, not seal, about 25% of room nights industry wide. So this is still a huge market for us, the travel agents. And they generally take about a 10% commission. So when we talk about travel agencies, we generally talk about four types: travel management companies, consortiums, online travel agents, and independent agencies. And we'll talk about each of those in a little more detail. Travel management companies are your large, your mega travel companies. They're giants. They own and control all aspects of their operations. They have huge buying power. Think of it as the Walmart of travel agents, and this allows them to negotiate lower rates. They provide complete travel services, airfare, hotels, transportation in between places, tours, the whole nine yards. American Express Travel is one of the largest. When I book my travel through USTA, I always book through American Express Travel. They have a contract. They have a specific dedicated phone line just for USTA travel. The second type is a consortium. And this is a group of travel agents partnering together to maximize their buying power and the cost of their technology. So although this is different agencies, by kind of pooling their resources, in many ways, they're able to function more like an American Express. So North Star Travel Media, Hickory Global Partners, Travel Savers, Virtuoso, ABC Global Services are all examples of consortiums. Next, we talk about online travel agents, or OTAs. These are the internet sites used to research and book hotels, transportation, rental cars, other travel products. Most commonly used by leisure travelers, although some corporate travel is booked through these OTAs. You guys are probably, I'm guessing, used to using these, but you can search for accommodations by date, destination, price. You can purchase travel packages as well. They often also will feature reviews on their site. And then finally, we talk about independent travel agencies. These are small, often home-based. They may specialize in a particular local market. Um, a friend of mine, Alexis, has her own home-based travel agencies, which is affiliated with this group called World of Magic Travel. So again, specialized small markets. Travel agencies generally serve, or travel agents, three different type of travelers. We can bucket them into business, leisure, and international. Business travelers are about a third of the business generated by travel agents. And some travel agencies even specialize specifically in business travel. Interestingly, one of the fastest growing segments of business travelers is the small meetings market. So that small meeting is less than 25 people. So taking a step back here, look at our bigger picture. This is a kind of a segment level down. We talked about travel agents as a segment. Now within that, we can do travel agents specializing in small meetings. We can do the small meetings market. And that's growing, so we can see that that's a viable, potentially exciting target market. Some businesses are also creating their own in-house, which we call implant travel agencies to handle their own corporate travel. Then we talk about leisure travelers who often need more assistance in planning their travel than business travelers. Business travelers are often restricted. They have to go to a certain place. Leisure travelers are open to all different possibilities. In fact, less than half of leisure clients know exactly where they want to go. If you're talking about destination resorts, the Disney's, the Hawaii's, the Bahamas, the Vegas type places, 80% of visitors to those places use a travel agent. So it's huge for those places. So if you have a hotel in one of those places, a travel agent working and targeting travel agents is probably a good way to go. Properties can also team up with travel agents to create packages. And then the travel agent is getting commission, you're getting people staying at your hotel. It's a win-win. And then international travelers could be business or leisure. So in some ways, it's not a third category. But it is important to note because it's an increasing substantially potential market. We talk about meeting the needs of travel agents. There are two general areas of need. Number one, they need to know about your property, the property information. And number two, you need to provide high quality service. So in terms of property information for travel agents, you can provide that through a number of sources. And these are our typical sources that we really reach a lot of our different markets. Global distribution systems, which we'll talk about in a second, is perhaps the one that's really different. Internet distribution systems, websites, emails, faxes, directories, familiarization tours, it's a hard word to say, specialized training and education tours. So let's talk about each of these a bit. Global distribution systems. This is a booking system for both airline and hospitality travel products. So hotels connect their computerized reservation system and they pay a fee for each reservation. So a travel agent would go through this, they're called the GDS, and they could search every hotel that's connected and see what's available, and they would book through that global distribution system. Okay, so the hotel is going to get a booking out of that. The GDS is going to take a small fee for that booking. There's 4 large ones, Sabre, Galileo, Amadeus, and WorldSpan, although Travelport, I believe it is card WorldSpan and Galileo, so there's maybe really just down to 3. And then internet distribution systems. So these are travel-related websites that allow consumers to research and book accommodations and other travel products and services. While these do offer great exposure for hotels, the disadvantage is that consumers can sometimes get better deals from these websites than going to your own hotel website. And the way they do this is through discount or bulk purchases of rooms. So you get varying rates, and this sometimes leads to customer confusion and frustrations. So more and more hotels are trying to ensure what we call rate parity, which is simply meaning you're going to get the same rate no matter where you go. Your global distribution systems are still the far bigger distribution system when we're talking about going through travel agents. 2 additional terms to be aware of here: channel management, which refers to the use of various marketing techniques to reach travel intermediaries, and then distribution strategy involves selecting the right balance between marketing being these intermediaries versus your website. So how many rooms are you going to sell on your website? How many are you going to sell through intermediaries? Okay. You can reach travel agents through your websites. Again, it's a given, and travel agents may go through your website to actually book, and this is more and more popular at individual properties as well. Faxes and emails. Again, it still boggles my mind that we use this fax system, but apparently it's working. because people are still using it. So emails at least folks sign up for, but updates on property promotions, special rates, discounts. You can target zip codes with faxes. If you want to do direct mail, so this is good old-fashioned post office mail, you would most likely hire a firm who specializes in direct mail. The disadvantage to that is obviously direct mail can pile up. Sometimes it can be junk, but there also is a certain level of effectiveness to it. There are hotel directories that provide detailed information to travel agents. You can find these printed, but largely they're online now. And I think there's generally two types of those. One is a hotel directory provided by the hotel. So here in this picture, we're seeing a Starwood hotel directory. So you can look at everywhere the hotel is. It's hard to see, but you can pick by certain amenities or the specific hotel brand. So you can kind of narrow it down. And then you have non-hotel ones, like for example, the Salt Lake Hotel and Hospitality Association has a list of hotels in Salt Lake. You can also buy ads on these web pages often. Then you can get information packages to travel agents. This is to supplement online material, so this is hard copy stuff. May include things like a property information sheet, brochures, photographs, description of amenities, info about booking procedures, maybe a video, CD. So sometimes I kind of like this cartoon. Getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant, right? The internet just this blast of information. So an information package is a way to kind of narrow that down a little bit more. You can do what's called a familiarization, or often called as a FAM tour. And this is where you take agents, travel agents to your property, give them a tour. You can do these during slack periods. When you do these, it's important to not just kind of pick whoever and whatever, but to really plan them carefully. Like what size group? Are you going to bring 10 agents, 20 agents? And what type of agents? Are they specializing in business travel, leisure travel? Who are you looking for? And obviously you want to do a follow-up with these folks and an evaluation. But we see, they're showing their exercise equipment. Here's a familiarization tour. Your hotel can do those. Sometimes, local like Chamber of Commerce or Salt Lake, I'm drawing a blank, but tourism agencies will do these in partnership with you. Another way to reach travel agents is to provide them with training and education programs. So help them become better salespeople. Manuals are more and more popular is to do webinars on how to sell. Now, the key here is you've got to make this a win-win. So you have to make this a webinar where the travel agent learns helpful skills for their business. The side benefit is they also learn about your hotel, but ultimately you want them to be more successful. And here you're building a relationship with them, you're building rapport, but at the same time, you are also giving them information about your hotel property. Second piece we talk about, so you've got to get property information to the travel agents, and you've got to provide a service. And we're going to talk about 4 ways to do that: toll-free numbers, travel agent clubs, commission payment plans, and basic service to your travel agent clients. Toll-free numbers. And it's another of those things I cackle a little bit at because I'm one of those people, as an increasing number of people are, who doesn't have a landline anymore. I only use my cell phone, so long distance is irrelevant. But they're still important. And there's a couple reasons they are. One is travel agents will also want to talk to someone when they're making reservations for a VIP. So there's special little services that not so easy to just book online. If you can get them to call in, you're going to give your sales rep, an opportunity to sell extra services and also promote alternative dates if the one they're looking for is not available. So some places actually have a dedicated specific toll-free line for travel agents. So when that line rings, your sales operator will know it's coming from a travel agent. Travel agent clubs, this is just like any membership club, your Hyatt Rewards or Marriott Rewards, Hilton Honors, but it's specific for travel agents. You're building rapport, you're keeping them informed of property events, special programs, promotions. You may give prizes if they book a certain amount of business. and little giveaways, you know, luggage tags, travel alarm clocks. And these would, of course, have your hotel property info on them to continue to promote your hotel. Commission payment plans. So travel agents, as mentioned, work on commission. And the problem historically was that they weren't always paid on time, A, and B, because they're booking at the Hilton, at the Marriott, an airfare, whatever, they're coming from all different sources. So it could be difficult getting paid. So making sure you're paying your travel agents their commission promptly and efficiently is hugely important to maintaining that relationship. One company that helps you do that is called Pegasus Solutions, which travel agents and the hotels will both work with. And so the travel agent is getting one check. So it's basically a pooling source for all their commissions. So it's getting one check. It comes through Pegasus. Obviously, there's a fee that Pegasus takes, but it, excuse me, keeps that system and that payment nice and crisp and clean and on time. Also, consider giving clients of travel agents special service because they're going to talk to their agent, right? It's the way it works. So you may want to pamper them. A special note, a wine basket, a gift basket, a little thank you, promotional discounts when they show up. And then when an agent books your property for the first time, do an old-fashioned pick up the phone, call, and thank them. So how do you find travel agents? This little Where's Waldo cartoon, by the way, in case you're curious. So we're going to talk about 4 ways: the OAG flight guide, the in-house records, mailing lists, and then trade shows. So the OAG flight guide does have a print version, but it's also available online. If you just Google it, you'll find it. It lists worldwide flight schedules. And the reason this is valuable, it doesn't tell you who the agents are, but it does give you an idea of traffic flow and where people are coming from. So if you can say, hey, a lot of people are coming from, Salt Lake City to our destination, you can then go look for travel agents in Salt Lake City who are connecting with those clients. In-house records. This is your own hotel records, right? So these provide information on past commission payments to travel agents who have recommended you in the past. So you may go, hey, they're not booking us anymore, and you may want to reach out to them. It can reveal what type of businesses an agent typically books at your property. So are they booking business travel, leisure travel, small meetings, large meetings, and that'll help you target. You can also use these lists to develop your own mailing list. And speaking of mailing lists, this is you can buy email list or you can buy a direct mail list. And you just purchase people's addresses and then you're sending them marketing material. American Society of Travel Agents is a good place to get those. Again, be somewhat aware of the issue of junk mail. So you got to provide something that's catchy. And then you can go to travel industry trade shows. This is a great place to meet folks individually, have a booth, talk, exhibit, make those connections. And I just did a quick Googling. It's really easy to find a list of trade shows out there. Excuse me. So reaching travel agents. We're just going to talk about each of these areas a little bit. So directories. So computerized hotel and travel directories that provide a look at thousands of participating agencies. So these are the directories that you're being listed in. So you may want to put an ad in there because travel agents are also looking at these directories. Trade magazines. So these are your travel magazines that your travel agents are likely reading for tips and techniques and ideas. So again, advertisement. You're looking to place advertisements in there that can reach travel agents. Your ads here are often lengthy. Your copy, so your ad copy should include location, rate, booking, and commission info. Travel trade websites. Again, these are things that travel agents are likely looking at. So for example, travelpulse.com, I've got a little screenshot here, and we can see its information about travel. And we can see, look here, we've got an ad, and we've got a banner ad up here as well. Okay, so those are reaching out to travel agents. That should be spoiled agent, by the way, not spiled agent. Email and direct mail we've talked about before, so I'm not going to reiterate it here. But yeah, it's another way to reach them. Trade shows, again, we've talked about. You can also become a member in travel agent associations. And these associations usually offer a special membership category for hotel properties. And they would give you benefits like access to the mailing list, special advertising rates, invitation to trade shows, networking opportunities. Also, never forget the good old-fashioned personal sales call or visit, particularly if it's a travel agent that's giving a lot of business or has high business potential. Reach out to them personally and contact them. A little tip, avoid Mondays and Fridays. That's when business is the heaviest. And be brief, be clear, make sure you're differentiating your property from your competition. Good advice for any sales call, right? Public relations, this is your essentially free advertising, but and it's advertising you don't do, but there's strategies behind getting good public relations, and here are a few. Invite travel agents to visit your property. They may then write an article about it. Provide news releases that appeal to travel agents. Maybe it's about a new activity, a new program that you were running, a charity fundraiser that your hotel hosted. Send thank you notes to travel agents. That's just good PR, right? You're keeping a good image with them. Considering asking travel agencies to serve on an advisory board for your property. Give them a chance to give input into what you do. What's going on in the future of travel agents? And again, I think these are things you could probably guess on your own for the most part. Widespread use of computer technology by consumers. This is huge. We know it's huge. It's taking people away from travel agents where you're DIY, do-it-yourself culture. I think that's increasing and it's going to continue to increase. Changes in room distribution by hotels. So hotels are, even with all the marketing options available today, hotels will continue to need and support travel agents. Small hotels especially will look to travel agents to fill rooms. Since they don't have a large sales force or marketing budgets, those are not websites you tend to just stumble across. Yeah. And then finally, what we call a destination specialist programs. These are often sponsored by countries, regions, cities, and it's agents attend courses and take tests to enable them to better sell clients in that area. So that's a super fast whirlwind overview of marketing to travel agents. But to connect this to other things we've talked about in class, we could segment. We could get travel agents, could be a way people book, right? Could be our segmenting strategy. Travel agents could be part of that. We would evaluate it as a viable. Then if we decide it was viable, we consider it as a target market, and we'd run through another evaluation strategy. We would position our hotel, our property, and what that is important to that travel agent market. We'd write a positioning statement, how we want that travel agency market to view us. And then we get into our marketing mix, our 4 Ps, which we'll talk more about this week. Depending on when you view this, that'll be this week, March, I have no idea what day it is, 25th, 26th, something like that. The first week after spring break. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.